So welcome everybody to the August 26th call. Tonight we are going to talk about onboarding new challengers and onboarding new coaches. Before we start, I just want to go over a few quick announcements. The first thing is that we're running an additional challenge group next month, technically, starting on September 7th. So this is a really great way for you to push to continue to get Success Club points if you still need to hit Success Club. And I am going to captain the group. So if you're in another group, which all of you should be, then you just double post what you're posting in your other group. So you just put up your sweaty pic twice. Obviously pay attention to the prompts so you can be involved in the discussion questions. But as much as I'm captaining, you do need to be in there to support and motivate and set a good example for your challengers. So I really hope that all of you push very hard in the next few days to, sell an additional challenge pack or two and get some more challengers. It's really not going to be much more work for you. And this kind of alleviates the problem of, when you have someone buy a challenge pack and then they have to wait several weeks to the start of the next group and you don't know exactly how to work with them one-on-one. Well, here's another challenge group so you don't have to figure it out. We basically do it for you. Just, have them order and get them in the group. So we have a thread in the Team Fit and Natural page. Just make sure that you have the up-to-date information in the comment section. I don't have a formal sign up like we typically do. Jen, what's your sign up like for September 7th? Do you have one in your group?
A few days before, when you need the number for the people, who's going to be in the group, I'll put up a sign up in my group.
Okay, cool. So that's the deal there. And also, if you have any discount or support coaches who didn't sign up for the current August group, reach out to them again. Maybe this is a better time, September 7th, with kids going back to school and stuff. So maybe people weren't ready to start in the August group because it's a hectic time of year. Reach out to your discount coaches, see if they want in for September 7th. We like to keep everybody with a touch point in the challenge groups and with the team. So that's September 7th. And then on that same day, we'll have a new Coach Basics group. So if you have new coaches, you should be, first of all, Jen will talk about this, but if you've sent them the welcome new coach message, it of course explains the option of Coach Basics. So let them know that Coach Basics will be starting September 7th, start to get a feel for whether they want in or not. And then the September 21st group will be our next official challenge group, but right now you should really be focusing on September 7th. And then our big push for September, which we've posted in our team groups, is the supplement sampler in September push. So basically we're asking everybody to try one of the new supplements. So that could be one of the Shakeology boosts, which are the Focused Energy Boost, the Digestive Health Boost, and the Power Greens Boost. So Power Greens is awesome if you want to sneak veggies into your kids' food. Focused Energy is just amazing because you truly don't need coffee after having it. And for digestive health, one thing to keep in mind is that it's fiber, and fiber is something that helps you feel full. So if you're looking for an additional healthy way to curb your appetite or, stop snacking so much, digestive health is a good one to try. And of course, if you really want to go for it and you have extra Shakeology at your house, if you buy all 3 of those on Home Direct, then that fulfills your 90 PV, which is necessary for achieving Success Club for the month. So that's something to keep in mind. Or if you, let's say, keep a spouse active and you're looking for a different way to do it, that's another way. Let's see. I also want to remind, and then after you try your supplement, you want to make sure to post a testimonial in the file that we created in our team pages. So that way we have a nice selection of anecdotes, that we can share on Facebook and share with customers. It always makes things easier when you're talking about something new to have a story behind it. So this will just give you a selection of stories if we all share our story about how it worked for us. We also want to remind you about the option to do a 15-minute Zoom call with either Jen or I. We have Acuity scheduling links in our team pages. And this is a great thing also if you have new coaches yourself and you don't feel completely confident in doing like a getting started right call with them, or you just want to check in with them to see how they're doing and to encourage them, but you're not really ready to do that kind of call one-on-one yourself. Jen or I can do the call with you. It can be the three of us, or it could be a group of your coaches. We're happy to make anything work, but just know that we are available. The more face-to-face time you have with people in general, the better. So please take advantage of that. And then just another reminder about Super Saturday and Super Sunday, October 17th and 18th. If you live anywhere within driving distance of Westchester, New York, we really hope that you'll come to Super Sunday on October 18th. There's a team of people working very, very hard on setting up this event, and it's going to be incredible. We're going to have Mark Briggs in the Millionaires Club from the P90X series as a special guest, and he's leading a live workout, and it's really going to be incredible, a whole new level for team perseverance and for our teams in general. So we hope you'll join us there. If you don't live within driving distance, then make sure you find a Super Saturday by you, because it's really amazing to go to a local event, and please encourage your coaches to do that as well. So those are the announcements, and does anybody have any questions about that before I start going into our topic? No? Okay. You can always type in the chat box if you have a question that pops up. So I am going to talk about onboarding new challengers, and then Jen will talk about onboarding new coaches. So to start off with, when we think about new challengers, one reminder, and this is something that often escapes new coaches, so I really want to be clear about this so you are clear with your new coaches. New challengers are only eligible to join us in a challenge group if they have you officially listed as their coach. So let's say you have a friend who happens to have Shakeology and, bought a program off an infomercial or bought it off Amazon or something like that, and you think, well, they've got everything they need. No, they have to have you listed as their coach to participate in the challenge group. It's a super simple thing to have them switch to having you as their coach. The instructions are in the files tab of the team groups. So it's really not a big deal, but make sure you do have them listed with you as the coach. You also need to make sure that they have a 30-day supply of Shakeology. It is really supposed to be a home direct supply of Shakeology. And obviously the challenge pack is always the easiest way for people to start. But make sure that they have fulfilled the requirements, because you don't want to go and tell someone, oh, you can do this challenge group, and then you find out actually they don't want to buy Shakeology and you've promised this to them. So be clear from the beginning. So as far as onboarding goes, onboarding starts immediately with how you handle the person's order process. So right from the order process, and really from your whole 5-step invitation process, you are showing people how you will be as their coach. You are setting the tone for what kind of helper and motivator and supporter you're going to be. So you want to take every step of the whole process very seriously. The first thing that you want to do after they order is to track their order and keep them updated. This is something that a lot of people forget to do, and then the challenge group starts, and then you find out that, oh, actually they don't have their challenge pack, and you're assuming they did. You want to take that extra step. It's really easy to track the order. When you go under My Orders, you click on the tracking link, but better yet, the way that you can see it most clearly is if you sign into teambeachbody.com and you go to Coach, instead of clicking on Coach Online Office, click on Previous Office View, and then look at the order in there, and then the actual shipping invoice comes up with the most up-to-date information. That's always the best place to track orders. If you haven't done that before, give it a try. You'll see the information is much better. So when you see that it's shipped, shoot your person a message, let them know it's shipped. When you see that there's an arrival date, make sure you let them know. And then when it's supposedly delivered, be like, oh, I just want to make sure you got your challenge pack. It says it was left, at 7:30 this morning. So that right there sets you up as, really being there for them in every way possible. You also want to ask them while they're waiting for their challenge pack what kinds of things they like as far as Shakeology recipes. So, maybe you find out that they only love fruity things, or they really love like chocolate and peanut butter. You want to find out the kinds of things that they really like for Shakeology and share a couple of your favorite recipes that fit the description of what they're looking for to get them excited about starting Shakeology. And you also want to remind them things like you don't want to be drinking your Shakeology with 12 ounces of whole milk. You want to suggest making sure to use something like almond milk or cashew milk or coconut milk, something like that. Make sure they know the right ratio of things to use. Otherwise, it's amazing what people can do with Shakeology that's, not the correct thing. So make sure you're communicating about that from the beginning. Then once they get their challenge pack, you want to walk them through it. So make sure that they see that there is a workout schedule to follow, that there's actually a nutrition plan in every single program, that there's a recipe calendar. I can't tell you how many people will start, popping beta in as the beginning of T25, where they just look at the titles on the CD and just pick a workout that looks good, not even realizing that there's an actual workout schedule to follow. So no matter how with it you think people are, and no matter how obvious you think it is, this is just a whole new ball game to most people, and they may be very, very busy, which is why they're probably signing up to do the challenge group in the beginning, in the first place. So you want to make sure that you're super, super clear about exactly how to start and what they should find in their challenge pack. The next thing is you want to review their goal and their why with them. Remember, you supposedly got their why they want to do this back in step 2 of the 5-step invitation process. Check in with them about their why. Make sure that you guys are on the same page so you know what to be checking on for them. Maybe some people are really awesome with exercise and you're going to see their sweaty pic all the time, but what they really struggle with is food. And if it's not food week in the challenge group, you may not know if they're still struggling with that. So if you know that that's a trigger point for them, it's something you can be checking in about, from the very beginning. So pay attention to their why and check in with them about that before the group starts. And then this is a really important question that I think we don't ask often enough. You want to ask them, because we all have experienced this if we've had challengers. Should you fall off from what you should be doing in the group, do you give me permission to reach out to you in various ways to get you back on track? Right? Because you do not want to seem like you're harassing them later on if they disappear. But if you have the conversation from the beginning and you find out like, okay, this person wants to do this and they say, I give you permission, like make me do this, please. I know I'm going to get lazy. I know I'm going to get unmotivated. Please help me with this. Then say, okay, great. Don't get mad at me later. I'm telling you, I'm going to follow through on this. Now tell me, what is the best way to reach out to you to get your attention? Because we all know some people like to disappear from Facebook. So if we just keep sending them a Facebook message or tagging them in the group, it may not be helpful and it may not remind them to come back. So you want to ask them, should I text you? Should I give you an actual phone call? Should I email you? Should I do all of the above? What do you want me to do should you fall off? This will save you later on, and it will make you feel a lot less awkward if you have to really go after the person to get them back into the swing of things. So then the day before the challenge group starts, or the days before the challenge group starts, of course, you want to add them as a member to the challenge group. This is your responsibility as the coach. The captain doesn't add your challengers in. You do that. You also want to copy and paste. In our team page, it's called Message to Send New Challengers Before the Start of a Challenge Group. Again, message to send new challengers before the start of a challenge group. Super obvious. Copy and paste that. Personalizing where necessary from the files tab of our team group, and send that out to your challengers. You also want to tag them in the comment section of the welcome video, which is always pinned to the top of the challenge group to make sure that they watch it. A lot of times people don't see it. Pinned posts, when you're on your phone and looking at Facebook, they don't show up unless you click view pinned post. So unless they're tagged there, they may not even notice it, and you really want to have them watch that welcome video. So be sure to tag them there. And then you want to get your intro video up by Saturday morning at the absolute latest to set a good example. And the more people that have up their intro videos, we know this can be super hard for new people to get the intro video up. So make sure you have it up, because the more people that have it up, the easier it is and the more comfortable people feel sharing their own. So then you want to make sure that your challengers have posted their intro videos by Sunday night. Do not let this slip. When people skip this step, they suddenly start to disengage right from the beginning. They feel like, I can't even keep up, and it's already the start. You want to make sure that they get their intro video up no matter what. You also want to make sure that they've taken their before pictures and tell them, this is for your eyes only. You do not have to send your before pictures to me, but you will be so thankful when you see later on the difference that it makes. Because there's someone in my challenge group right now. She's been doing challenge groups for 4 months, and she just shared her before and current face picture. Like, not even her body, but she shared it in the challenge group. Just her face has undergone such a transformation. And she said she did not realize the difference until she put those pictures side by side. She knows that she's lost like 20-something pounds. She knows how many inches she's lost. But it's because when you look at yourself every single day in the mirror, you don't notice the little changes. So unless you see that before and after, you don't realize the impact. So tell people, like, you really want to do this for yourself, because you deserve to see that after the hard work. You want to make sure that they've sent you their starting stats. Just tell people if they're nervous about it, like if it's a good friend and they don't want to share the numbers, just be like, I don't even look at the numbers, because I don't really look at the numbers. I copy and paste them into a document and file them away, and that's it. It's just merely a benchmark. And then if they're not comfortable again with the numbers, for the following Saturdays, just tell them, you can say, -2 pounds, -1/4 inch on the hips, -1 inch in the calves, because that way they're not having to say that number over and over to you again if it's uncomfortable for them. So they can just send you the change in numbers. And then throughout the group, you should be liking and commenting on all of their posts. Not just liking. You want to like and comment on every single one of their posts in the challenge group. And you want to set the example of what being a model participant looks like. So you should be engaging in the group discussions. You should be getting your pictures up every day. If you miss a day, actually post and say it. Hold yourself accountable. Be what you would want them to be. You have to set the example if you want to see it from others. If someone doesn't post on a given day, you have to reach out to them by either tagging them in the group or private messaging them. Don't let days slip by without people posting. That's when people disappear. When they start to feel like no one is noticing that I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do, then they feel like, what is the point of the group? So as much as you may feel awkward or badly about calling someone out when they don't post, you are helping them, because believe me, as soon as people start to feel insignificant in the group, then they tend to disappear and they will not make progress on their goals, and the whole thing just falls away. So this is very important. You have to call them out. And of course, that doesn't mean do it rudely. It just means a gentle check-in, tag them. Just a little, how are you doing? I didn't see your post, or did I miss your post today? That's it, something gentle, but show that you noticed. Let's see. During the first week, don't let a whole week go by without having private messaged your challenger to see how they are doing with Shakeology. Because even if it's all rah-rah in the group about Shakeology and yay, I love the Thin Mint cookie recipe and I love Snickerdoodle and blah, 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 they may, because it's so rah-rah, they may feel awkward sharing that they're having some kind of challenge with Shakeology. And remember, because it is such a dense dose of nutrition that most people's bodies are not used to, maybe they're having some digestive discomfort or something during the first week, or maybe they've been, mixing it with something that is just too heavy for their system. If you don't check in with them one-on-one, you're going to see a Shakeology returned, or you're going to find out at the end, like, no, I don't want to keep doing this. I don't like Shakeology, and it will be shocking to you. So you have to check in during the first week and have the private message conversation. If it's too much for people, tell them to scale back and use a half of a serving for their Shakeology for a week or two and to see how that goes. And that like 99% of the time solves the problem, unless it turns out there's like a hidden food allergy that the person didn't know about. So that's also very important. If you do have a challenger who has not participated at all or totally disappears, like posts once and then they're gone, you have to reach out to them to let them know that they cannot remain in the group without participating. You have to let them know that you want to support them and will do everything possible to help them. But if they are not posting, it is not fair to the other people in the group, because they see the group members and they notice that people aren't posting, and then it makes them feel like, well, how come they don't have to post all the time? You know, maybe I can slip away from it for a few days. So it's really just a bad influence on everyone, and it hurts the sense of community in the group. So you have to let the person know and say, you know, if they don't want to do the group, or if they just ignore you and don't get back to you, then remove them or ask your captain to remove them from the group. And then, of course, every Saturday, you should be getting your updated stats from your challengers. And if they have not sent them to you, then you have to reach out to them. You know, it's a good thing to send a message first thing in the morning. Don't wait for your captain to post the Saturday post in the group. It is your responsibility to maybe remind them on Friday night or send the message first thing in the morning on Saturday so that they remember to do that and get them out to you. And then another suggestion I have is, you know, in our sign up, we have the option to sign up as a helper for the challenge groups. And so I think it's a really great thing to step up as a helper, because not only are you contributing to the group, but you're establishing yourself as more of a leader for your challengers. And so sorry, I'm just seeing Rachel's question. I'll answer in 1 second. The more you show yourself as an established leader, the more motivating it's going to be to your challengers. So please make sure to step up if you feel like you have, you know, one time during the week when you can do an extra post, help out your captain and volunteer. And then, of course, at the end of the third week or beginning of the fourth, whenever your captain posts the exit video, and this leads into what Jen is going to talk about, you should be copying and pasting the coach invitation message from the files tab. But what I always like to say is that it is much easier to start this conversation with them if you have checked in with them earlier in that week. So if you know the exit video is going up in a few days, this is a great time to private message your challenger and say, just, how is it going? Are you loving the group? You know, I noticed in your latest Saturday that you lost, you know, 2 pounds this week, and I notice your energy is up. Are you enjoying the group? And, you know, pretty much almost always at that point, if they are participating fully and they're getting results, they're going to come back to you and say, oh, I love it. You know, this has been so great. Thank you so much again for, you know, all that you do. Thank you for this group. This is, you know, typically what happens for me. And so then it's just a natural conversation when the exit video goes up to continue with the coach conversation. So Jen's going to take it from there, but I just want to remind everybody that it is definitely an honor for people to entrust you with helping them on this journey, and you need to respect that and do everything that you can to support them. And if you ever do have special circumstances with your challenger, make sure to reach out to one of us or your captain, because we do want people to feel supported. You know, not everything is black and white and has to go exactly by the book. Sometimes there are little exceptions. Sometimes there's things we can do to help somebody out. So always, you know, reach out, reach up, and let us know. Now, Rachel's conversation, what was she saying? Do we have our coaches send us stats on Saturday? So when you have coaches, especially new ones, typically what I do is to ask them what they would like to do. So if they're continuing on past their first challenge group, I say, you know, what's going to be best for you? Do you want to just, you know, kind of like keep track on your own and check in with me once in a while and let me know? Or do you really feel like you want the accountability and you want to keep sending them to me every week? I have coaches that have been sending me their stats for months and months and months, because that is what they need to feel like they're really being held accountable. And then I have a ton of others that, just every once in a while they, come to me and say, like, can you believe it? I just crossed the 10-pound mark, or I just crossed the 20-pound mark, or, now I can do push-ups without being on my knees. So it's like you just have to ask them and find out what is your preference and then honor that. So it's fine either way. So I'm going to let Jen take it from here.
Hey guys. So I'm going to talk about once that exit video gets posted. So your captain posted, and they typically tag everybody in the group, which is very helpful because then all the challengers get an alert that they've been tagged in a post. But I think it's also a really great thing if you guys are also commenting on that post, like, hey, Mary, take a look at this. This is some great information. So that video should have tons of comments on it from you guys because it's showing your excitement about the information and about sharing it with the person. And as Cherie said, you also then want to send private message the email, which is inviting them to join our team. Private message that to each and every one of your challengers. Give them a few days. You don't want to bother them. You don't want to harass them and be like, oh my goodness, are you going to join the team? Give them a few days to think about it. And, if you have, most people will write, if they're going to do it right away, they'll write back. I'm like, oh yeah, this sounds great. Like, what's the next step? If not, then you want to reach out to them again and be like, hey, did you have a chance to look at that video and the information I sent you? And usually, people are sort of hemming and hawing, then go back to like what Sharice had said, when we spoke earlier in the week, I know you were so excited about the group. You've really progressed. You're really doing a great job. I want you to think about this as your gym membership. And I want you to also think and remember that this is month to month, because sometimes people get very nervous about being tied into something. So I tell people who are very nervous about that, here's the phone number to cancel your coach membership if it's not what you think it's going to be, because some people think there's a hidden agenda if they just want to be a discount coach that they're going to be made to sell or whatever, which there isn't. So I do, I think when you're very upfront like that and you're like, hey, here's the number to cancel, they're like, oh, she must really not pressure me to sell then because she's willing to give me the information to cancel it. So that's something for those people who are nervous that I definitely do. So once they've decided, yes, I want to become a coach, you definitely want to add them to your team page and post a welcome message and send them, like you've sent them the message, and find out what kind of coach they want to be. Because in that welcome message for new coaches, there's the video that on Teresa's message she has made and I have made for my team that explains whether you're going to be a discount coach, a hobby coach, or a working coach. So that's the first piece of key information you need to get from your new coach. So they come back, let's say they come back and say they're going to be a discount coach. That's fine. So then you assist them through the sign-up procedure. You want to make sure that you have your placement set. Especially, I know some of you are getting close to diamond. You want to make sure that you have that set in the back office. And if you're not sure how to do that, you can talk to either Sharice or I, and we can help you with that. But don't panic if you didn't do it and they signed up and they're on the wrong leg. You can email Coach Relations. You have, I believe, 48 hours to email them, and you can have them change legs. But you need to get on that right away. But you should, really keep track of where you need people and where your placement should be. So you've added them to your group page if they are a discount coach, and then you're going to continue to support them as they continue in their journey. You're going to help them sign up for the next challenge group. And now you just don't leave them because they've become a coach. You continue to support them and comment on their posts and support them and really, still be their number one cheerleader so that they feel, like, okay, this is still a good thing for me. Check on their Shakeology order and how much they have left and things like that. If they say, oh, I've got so much Shakeology, then think about what Cherie said in the beginning about possibly suggesting the boosts. Like, that's a great opportunity to introduce them to some other products so that way they maintain active status. Now, if they watch the videos and they come back to you and they say, I want to be a hobby coach or I want to be a working coach, then they have some level of interest in working the business. So this is a different conversation. So you want to, we do have the email quick start training that we both have set up now. So if there's not a Coach Basics starting for a little while, that's a great opportunity to start them with some training right away. And you want to get them on a getting started right call right away as well, either with yourself if you feel comfortable doing it, or with your upline diamond or upline star diamond. This is a great opportunity to find out what they're nervous about, what they want to get out of coaching, what their why is, and it really helps you to guide your training with them. So that's really important as well. And the other thing is, so for Team Spark, and I don't know if Sharice has this, but for Team Spark, if they are a hobby or a working coach, you also want to put them in our accountability group, because that's our group for the coaches who are working the business. We are no longer going to be adding any new coaches to the Team Perseverance page. The reason being is that their training is working a little differently from our training, and it's leading to a little bit of confusion. So we think it would just be best to have our new coaches added on our pages to cut down on the confusion. And honestly, anything that's announced on those pages, on Team Perseverance page, that's important, Sharice and I both share on our team pages. So if you're on both, you probably see it on both and you're like, oh yeah, there it is again. So it's not like they're going to be missing anything. So, and people, I've been getting a lot of feedback from my new coaches. They're getting very, very overwhelmed with the number of posts, because there are a tremendous number of people in that group and our groups. So it's actually led to a couple people who are like, I don't know about this. I'm not sure if I want to stay on. So I think it's just best at this point to just add our coaches into our team pages. Okay. So with your hobby coaches and your working coaches, you did the quick start training, you did the getting started right call. You want to encourage them to do coach basics. Now let's talk about coach basics for a second. So Sharice and I take turns running the coach basics. You have a coach that goes into coach basics. It's your responsibility as their coach to go through coach basics with them. And what do I mean by that? What I mean is that when they're posting each day, ask them to tag you in their post. That way you're alerted when they have commented. Read their comment. See if it's like a really short, quick comment where it really seems like they haven't really read it, or maybe they don't quite understand the topic so well. Ask them to expand on their answer. Reach out to them privately and say, did you understand that? Do you need more information on that? Really be there for them on that. And also, if you see they've missed an assignment, you want to tag them right away before they fall 2, 3, 4, 5 days behind, because then they're going to be taken out of the group, and nobody really wants that. That's an uncomfortable situation when you have to take someone out of the group. So I find if you keep the lines of communication open and you keep them updated on a daily basis, like, oh, hey, you missed today. And I've had people say, you know what, I can only do it every other day, but I double up. And I'm like, all right, that's fine. That works for you. But then I know, because we've had that communication, I know their system and I know what they're going to be doing, and it's fine. So you definitely have to be in there, and you have to be supporting your coaches through that. That's a really important part of bringing on and onboarding a new coach. And likewise, once your coach goes into ramp, it's the same thing. You need to support them through ramp. That's the training from Emerald to Diamond. You want to also support them through that training and comment on their posts and like their posts and help keep them on track with that as well. And then you also want to make them aware of the training opportunities we have via email. Now, if they're doing Coach Basics, wait until that's done before you do the email one, because it's a lot to do them both at the same time. They're getting messages on Facebook, they're getting emails. So I would say let them finish Coach Basics, which is a more comprehensive, in-depth training. And then afterwards, to kind of act as a refresher, they can do the automatic CEO training. So you just let Sharice or I know, give us their email and let us know what they need to be entered into as far as training goes, and we can set that up. But the most important thing is to really let them know and act as their mentor that you are there for them. And also, if they have questions, it's part of, like, I know Sharice and I both do this with you guys, it's your job to teach them where to get the information so that it's not so overwhelming to have 8 coaches or 10 coaches or whatnot. So when they come to you and say, how do I change my Shakeology order? Don't just tell them. Ask them, teach them how to find that information out. Teach them about the FAQs. So many people don't know about the FAQs. Teach them where to find the information, so that way the next time they have a question, they may go there instead of coming directly to you or directly to Sharice or I. So that's part of being a good sponsoring coach as well, is teaching them where to find the information and sharing your system, so that way, your organizational system, whether you use Google Drive or whatever it may be, so that way, they can learn what you're doing and see if it works for them, and make it, makes the transition into coaching a little easier. So that's really the beginning of onboarding coaches, to really that first 30 days to help them to feel very supported and very much that they can do this, and they know that we are really a team and we are here for them. That's one of the most important things, that they are not alone in this, that we are all going to help each other. So does anyone have any questions? No? Does anyone have any questions about anything? All right, I guess we're good then. Are you all awake? No. All right, I got a few giggles. Everyone's awake. All right. Oh, Kimberly says yes. Okay, good. I'm just joking with you. So Sharice and I have these tips in a document, and we will post them on our pages, so that way you have them to refer to. And also, there's a good number of you guys on here, but now if you have coaches who have coaches, this is really good information that, yes, it's in a file, but you may want to copy and paste it into a private message to your coaches to say, here, this is what you need to do to help support your challengers as they come on. This is what you need to do to support your coaches as they come on. Okay? Oh, why, thank you, Kimberly. So sweet. All right, guys. Well, if nobody has any questions, our next call is going to be 2 weeks from tonight, September 9th. And I think it's going to be a very, very helpful call. It's going to be explaining active versus inactive status and some PV opportunities beyond Shakeology. So we're going to be talking about a lot of cool products that you may not realize we actually sell. So, oh, thank you, Jen Clancy. So definitely be sure to mark that on your calendar now for September 9th, 9 p.m. And that way you can attend. And that's it. All right. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Matt, and everybody else. You guys are all awesome. Keep doing an awesome job, and let's get some challengers for September 7th.
All right.
Have a good night, guys.